Hello, my name is Jackie Karol, the voice of Billiards, live here today with Sneaky Pete Mafia TV and Darren Dynamite Appleton as our guest.
I want to say, Ben Finch, my pal at home, Mum and Dad, we're going to win the cup.
We're just filled with pride. Yeah. Words, it's hard to describe it and put it into words.
Welcome, Darren.
How you doing? You okay?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just in the lockdown. I heard it's even more serious, like where you're at, like with the lockdown. They're even more intense about it, huh?
Yeah, I think maybe we've been locked down about eight weeks now.
Wow, yeah.
8 weeks, and we've got at least another month. We're the worst hit country in Europe.
Oh, really?
I think we're like 33,000 deaths now, where the second highest would be Italy and then Spain.
Wow.
So we've overtaken Italy and Spain. Obviously, USA has got the worst of it.
So what are you doing with your time? Are you at least you got a pool table, looks like, huh?
Yeah, I got very lucky. I actually got this room in November last year. So just lucky that I got the room. It's a private room with like a couple of tables. So I've been able to use the room and do my practice, do my drills, all that stuff, do like stuff online. So I've just been keeping busy that way, and then so just doing a lot of walking and a lot of playing pool.
That's good. It's good.
What about you?
Same thing. I was lucky enough to get a table in my apartment. So when this apocalypse started, and I was a little worried about it because I didn't intend on getting a table originally because I'm around pool tables all the time. So, but luckily it fit in here because I'm right downtown Portland.
Okay.
Just barely fit a small table, which is good.
Better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
And, you can do a lot of stuff on there, so that's good.
So it looks like you got is it a diamond 9-footer and
a diamond table?
A
diamond table, and then the laptop is resting on my English 8-ball table, which is like a 7x4 table. It's an English 8-ball table, but I don't really use it. I just use it for teaching.
When you say English 8-ball table, do you mean like the Chinese 8-ball table? Is that what you mean?
No, I don't know if you've ever been to the UK.
I haven't.
Been to the UK?
No, but
you should the UK.
I know, I really want to. Well, I was talking to Kelly Fisher, and she was explaining Chinese 8-ball, which I've never seen on that.
Chinese 8-balls basically originated in China, obviously. It's a 9-foot table, the same size as a diamond, for example, but it's cut like a snooker table. It's basically like a miniature snooker table.
Yeah.
Cool. So like the pockets are very tight, and they play with nap cloth, and I think the pockets are maybe like 3.5 inches. So very tight pockets. Where we English 8-ball, it's like a bar box table, the same as yours, but the balls are very small, a lot smaller balls than American balls.
Wow.
And the pockets are about 3.25,
really?
maybe even smaller. So like tighter pockets. Tighter pockets and smaller balls, and we play with cues like 7mm tips, 8mm tips.
Wow. Oh my God.
So it's like reds and yellows. If you go on, if you Google it, you'll be able to see it. Like on, we have 7 reds, 7 yellows, and the black ball.
Wow.
So and it's a very popular game in the UK. So whenever you go in the pubs or like the bars in the UK, you'll always see one of these tables.
Okay. Did you ever hear of a game called Killer?
Yeah, we play Killer a lot.
Is that the same? Yeah. Is that the same as what you're talking about, or no, not really?
Well, Killer's a game where you sort of play with your friends, where you might be like 10 of you in the bar, and you start off with 3 lives each, and if you miss a ball, you lose a life, and then obviously you basically like draw it out the hat to see who goes first, and then second, third, fourth, and so on. Okay. So you just keep playing until somebody wins the money. So and anybody can win, because you might miss a ball and you might not leave me a shot, and I'm obviously the best player in the bar, but it's like potluck with how the balls are after someone plays a shot or whether they miss or not. So it's just like a fun game where everyone can play in the bar with friends, really.
Okay, kind of like Cutthroat would be for sort
Yeah,
of.
so if it's like 10 or 20 of you, you just put like a couple of dollars each just for a bit of fun.
That many people play it? Cool. Huh.
Yeah, especially when you're all drinking.
Yeah, yeah. And I swear there's no whiskey in this coffee. So it's like 9 or 8:15 your time, yeah?
8:15, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing the time zone, eh?
Yeah. So do you have like late hours? Are you more of a night person or
Yeah, I think so, yeah. If I'm at tournaments, then obviously I behave properly. Try and do the right things and all that stuff. So like leading up to a big tournament, I like prepare for that. I won't just go, like if I'm going to Vegas, for example, for a big tournament, I'll sort of prepare for a week beforehand and even try and get on their time zone. So I'll even stay up even later. I'll even stay up later in the UK just to try and get my body adjusted.
Yeah.
But when I'm at home, I'm like maybe like a 2-3 o'clock in the morning guy, usually.
Right.
And then I probably wake up at like average, maybe wake up at like 10 a.m.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like a 6 to 8 hours sleep guy.
You're like a what? Say that again.
I like sleep between 6 to 8 hours a day.
Oh, really? I gotta get like 8 or 9 at least. Sometimes.
Well, that's nice if you can do that. Well, I'm usually like between 6 and 8. Every now and again, obviously, do more or do less. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's tough when you're a pool player because you do a lot of traveling. So you're doing like a lot of different time zones. Your like schedule changes all the time. So it's just difficult to be really consistent with your routine.
Yeah. So what if there was no COVID and everything, what was your next tournament you were going to play in that you had planned?
Amazing, really. I mean, we was in Las Vegas for
the you went to that, right.
Yeah, I was there. I arrived on March the 9th and I was supposed to be there till March the 22nd. We played the Diamond 10 ball. That was the first tournament, the Diamond 10 ball, at the same time as the BCA in the Rio. And then the World 10 ball championships were supposed to start, I think, on the 16th of March.
Yeah. Okay.
And then when it got to the 13th to the 14th, that's when we all started to think that this tournament's not going to go ahead.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't really be here. I mean, we shouldn't have been there, really.
Right.
I mean, in my opinion, the tournament should never have started, but I understand why they tried to start it, because obviously it's a big association. There's like thousands of players there. So they had a lot of money to lose and blah, blah. And obviously in the pool world, it's a massive loss financially to those guys. So they basically tried to do everything they can to keep it going. Right. But in the end, they didn't have a choice. And even us, the players, like we was ready to go home really around the 14th or 15th because we has been from a different country. Mm-hmm. We was getting worried about the travel restrictions and whether we can get back in the country.
Right.
So we was quite happy when they cancelled the tournament, and then I actually had some problems getting back to the UK with flights. I had to my flights got cancelled twice, because of the virus, and obviously everyone's trying to get back home. So I was lucky really to get back home when we did. So I should have been in Vegas, and then after that I was supposed to go to Romania for a tournament. And then straight from Romania, I was supposed to go back to Las Vegas for the US Open.
What tournament was there in Romania?
Romania was the Bucharest Open.
Oh.
It's like a 9-ball tournament in Europe. It's like a Mosconi Cup ranking event for the European guys. And then straight from there, I was going back to Vegas for the US Open. So obviously that was a massive tournament with matchroom pool. So obviously it's disappointing. That was supposed to be in April. So obviously we haven't played a tournament since the Diamond 10 ball in Las Vegas in March.
Right.
I don't really see us playing any international tournaments until October, November.
Yeah, if we're lucky. Yeah.
I think you may be able to play a tournament in America, with like American
Right,
players, and
right. But the international,
maybe the same in Europe. Maybe September. I think I've been hearing like maybe September we might be able to play a tournament, but obviously it might have to be played behind closed doors where they're not allowed spectators and all that stuff. So
right.
I mean, it's crazy, really.
Did you hear about the new pro tour that's supposed to start in January? The NBL USA. I think they just started talking about it. Ed Ladawi is how I think how you pronounce his name. Yeah, out of Jersey at Castle, is it Sandcastle Billiards or something?
Oh, I know what you're about. Yeah, Ed. Yeah, Ed who owns Sandcastle.
Yeah, so I guess they just started advertising. They're going to do, qualifiers in all different states and stuff.
Yeah, I saw something on Facebook, but I didn't really look into it just because obviously the situation we're in. I mean, it's hard to plan anything, so I probably need to go back and take a look at that.
Yeah, it looks interesting actually. And then they're trying to start it in January, thinking that hopefully everybody would be able to make it by then. So right now they're planning out which pool halls would have events, and we're gonna have one out here in Oregon too, like qualifier. So you'll have to come on here and qualify.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure they'll probably have it in your country too, but
yeah, maybe. I mean, I have spoken to Ed quite a lot over the years, and he's always been wanting to do something in the pool world. And
really?
And he's always had this plan, but he's been talking about it for a long time. So I'm guessing this is what he's doing now.
Right.
So it sounds familiar to what he was telling me about, maybe like a year ago. So. Right.
He said in one of the articles that he was thinking about for like a really long time, and like 10 years or something, and now he's finally gonna go through with it. So it's fun to look forward to. Hopefully what's up and coming, sooner than later, right?
Crazy, really. I mean, we had a busy schedule this year. We had a really busy schedule. We had a lot of major tournaments this year. Matchroom was doing more tournaments with the US Open, the World Dynamite Championship, obviously the World Masters, World Cup of Moscone. And then we had some good tournaments in America, like in Vegas, the World 10 Ball. Then we had the International Open, which is still scheduled for, I think, end of October in Virginia. So we're sort of hoping that would be like our first major event back, really, and that's in October. So I mean, it's crazy, really. So we had quite a lot of good tournaments on the calendar this year, and I think pool was making a comeback. You know what I mean? I thought, we're like really going places again. So it was like so I was practicing really hard this season to try and get back up the ladder. Because like the last 2 or 3 years, I wasn't playing a lot of pool. I've taken a lot of time off, you know what I mean? So I'm like back playing full time, but I'm just practicing now.
Right. Well, now you can get even extra practice.
Well, a few friends have said to me like it looks like the lockdown's done me good because I've been putting a lot of hours in, and I think I'm more or less back. I'm probably more or less back to where I was maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Good.
My level. Yeah. So that's pretty exciting, but I need to put it to the test now.
I know. Are you doing any of those? What'd you say?
We just need to be patient.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Are you able to do any of those, like, how people are playing the ghost against each other, which is kind of funny, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. It's quite a weird feeling, actually. The first time I played was I played that Moscone Cup style event where it was Europe versus USA. It was called the Q It Up Cup, and it was like for a bit of fun, really. And it's weird because there's a lot of people watching you, which you should be used to, really. But you're in a room on your own. You're in the room on your own, so it's like a weird feeling. Where when you're at a tournament and there's a lot of people there watching anyway, there's like thousands watching on the internet or whether it's television, and you don't even think about it. But when you're on your own and it's very quiet, and that there's a lot of people just watching you, it adds like a weird pressure. It's like a different type of pressure. So in some ways it's good because it's like a different feeling. So even though when you're playing the ghost, there's a bit more pressure. So I guess that is good, like for the competitive edge. And then I played a guy last week from Italy for like small money. and we basically rotated the rack. So I'd play a rack and then he'd play a rack.
Cool.
And that's like pretty cool. I mean, that was pretty fun, but obviously it's not the same, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I think I'm going to start putting more challenges out, and then just to see where it goes, really.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can play different games like 10 ball, 9 ball, 8 ball, one pocket ghost, all that stuff.
Right.
15 ball, there's 12 ball. You know what I mean? So.
Do you have one on
keep
you
it
played, against somebody in Italy? Do you have it on video? Did you record it or no?
Yeah, it's on YouTube. It's on. It's called Sharp. It's I think the YouTube page is called Sharpshooter.
Oh, cool! I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to get you the exact link and the address.
That'd be cool. So
I actually played really good. We played 12 ball, and I think out of like 35 racks I played, I think I broke and run like 27 or something.
12 ball meaning like 9 or 10 ball, but with 12 balls. Is that?
Yeah, with 12 balls. So you basically put the back two balls on like the edges of the corner ball. They sort of tuck in just.
Oh yeah, right.
So it just makes it a little bit tougher. But I mean, it's probably the same as playing 10 ball, really, because it's a bit easy to make a ball on the break for some reason.
Right, and you said you did really
ball
well.
seems to go in.
Right. And so it's you do 10 of them by yourself, and then you see how many you keep score based on how many you make. Is that right?
Basically you just break off, and then after the break you get ball in hand, and you just got to run out.
Okay.
So out of the 35 racks where I played, I think I run like maybe 27 racks. So that was a pretty good average.
Nice.
I mean, even playing the 9 ball ghost, I think you'd be happy with like 27 from 35.
Right. Cool.
So like my games there, I've just got to get back out there and just prove it, I guess.
Sure. And so you also teach a fair amount too, right? Like,
yeah.
Are you still doing? I mean,
well,
like,
yeah. This is the main reason why I got this room, really, was for teaching. So I was doing a lot of teaching around November, Christmas, January, February, March. I had a lot of bookings for April, May, and so on, like even June. And I had people traveling from Europe coming for teaching, and there was 1 or 2 people talking about coming from America. And then obviously when I'm in America, I do clinics and all that stuff. I do teaching in America also. So it was like a nice little income, sort of like kept me sharp also, because you learn a lot when you're teaching also,
right.
Because you're teaching yourself the mistakes you have been making. So
Sure.
When you're teaching someone, you sort of just pick up on like your own faults also. So I really enjoy the teaching because it's like a two-way thing.
Right,
it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter about the level of the person you're teaching, because you always start with the basics, and then obviously after that you teach the individual.
Right.
So I really enjoy the teaching, and it's something I will do more like full time when I get older, when I stop playing on the circuit, let's say, as a professional.
Right. Cool.
So that's the goal. Is at the long term, I think I'll be like a teacher or something like that, or even like a manager. That's really interesting.
Right.
Also.
Yeah, you were talking a little bit. The last time I saw you was when you were inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Yeah, 2 years ago. It was December 2017. So it's like 2.5 years now. Wow, that's gone quick.
I know, it's crazy. And you were thinking about maybe starting a tour? Are you still thinking of doing that, or not yet? Or
a pull tour?
Yeah.
Well, I started my pull tour in 2017, the World Pull Series.
Oh yeah, but it was, you were thinking of doing a women's side too? Right?
Yeah, it was, yeah. But 2017, I did the World Pull Series. 2018, I did the World Pull Series. But the timing was sort of bad for me, because at that time, my mother got diagnosed with terminal cancer. I broke up with my wife, and then I relocated back to the UK, and then I still have my property in USA as well. And I'm sort of like residing in the USA and the UK. So, and then I had like some mental issues going on there. Obviously, it was a tough time in my life. So, yeah, I just didn't commit 100% to the World Pull Series. I just couldn't really commit to it 100%. Sure. So after 2018, I just felt as if it was a lot harder work than what I expected. It becomes a full-time job.
Yeah.
So then after 2018, I decided that I'm just going to give it a rest for now. So
Right.
it was I just didn't really get the help what I needed, or maybe didn't have the resources what I needed. So
Right.
I just thought at this moment in time it was a good time for me just to really stop everything really, and then just try and just get my life back in order,
Sure.
like mentally more than anything. And then
Yeah.
obviously my mother passed away last year, so that was really tough.
Yeah, I heard that.
And then obviously just personal issues really, which we all suffer with at some point in our lives.
Sure.
But the last 6 months or so, I've been in a much better place. Got my life back together and been practicing all the time. So now I'm back playing full time. I'm like sort of 50-50 whether I will promote again, because I know that it takes a lot of work, and then
Yeah.
it might affect my own game. So
Sure.
at the moment, I've no real plan to do anything with the Whirlpool series, but I still hone it. I've still got the option to do something with it. So I've even thought about just doing like one event a year,
Yeah.
where maybe like
Sure.
you do something like the Expo, you know what I mean, where
Yeah.
you have like the amateur events and the pros also,
Right.
and maybe make it like a nice show.
Yeah.
Because like doing like a series of tournaments, like 4 or 5 tournaments a year, I mean, it really is a full-time job.
Oh, it is. I know. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of pool players. I mean, people in the pool world, they don't realize how much work goes into it.
Yeah.
So it was it was a great eye opener for me, because I had a new respect for promoters,
Right.
and how tough the job is, and whatever money they do make, they deserve every penny.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, it's a tough job.
You're right. Yeah.
Not easy, and it's not easy to deal with pool players.
Right.
Trust me.
That too. Same thing with like league directors and stuff. People don't realize how much it goes into running leagues, until you until you do it yourself. It's like a lot of work.
Yeah, I nearly got into that in Allentown. When I was living in Allentown, I
Yeah.
was going to be a league operator, and then when I really thought about it, and then I spoke to a couple of people who do it. I just thought it just wasn't the right time
Yeah.
in my career, you know.
Right.
But it was very tempting. It was very tempting. But I mean, it's difficult when you're a professional pool player playing on the circuit to really like juggle a lot of other
Yeah.
things what involve pool.
Right.
Really, I mean,
Right.
obviously, if you're doing like a different business and just let it do its thing, then it's maybe a lot easier. But when it's to do with pool, you're trying to do 2 or 3 different things at the same
Yeah.
time. It's very difficult.
It is.
So I think at the moment I just focus on the teaching and obviously playing the tournaments. But it's good to have that option to promote tournaments also.
Right.
Because even if you go back to the tournaments what I did promote, the World Pool Series, I think the players are really missing them now, and I think the fans miss them as well, because we had a really good format. The money was pretty good, and we had a pretty good production, like for like a low budget tour. So it does something. It is something what will interest me in the future.
Yeah.
But you got to have the right people working for you also.
Sure. Well, let me know if you need help with it later.
Yeah,
I like
maybe
doing stuff like that.
someone like yourself. I mean, obviously you're very out there. You're easy to get along. You're straightforward. You know what I mean? You're a straight talking girl, so that's important. And obviously, you know the industry very well.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So they're like the type of people you need to be working
right.
with.
And yeah, and ethical people that actually pay the prizes.
Yeah, and
I think people would trust you doing it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. And obviously, if you got people who are well respected working with you as well, it helps a lot.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. So I've got some questions just for fun, like fun questions.
Okay.
So let's see. What's your favorite guilty pleasure?
My favorite guilty pleasure. My favorite guilty pleasure. What's yours?
I mean, I like to drink wine. That's my.
Yeah, I'm actually a wine drinker also.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah, probably something like wine or like a really good kebab, even though it's bad for you.
What is it?
Yeah, I think in America you call them gyros.
Oh, I've heard of that, and I actually don't
It's
know what
like
that.
Dynamite. It's like Dynamite. It's like lamb meat, and then you have all the juices on it,
Oh,
salad, and it's like
cool.
it's pretty fatty for you. It's not very healthy, but it tastes really good.
Good. Yeah.
So yeah,
Cool.
and I'd probably say wine. I'm like I like my red wine.
Right. Yeah, me too. I do like red better than white, but when it's hot out, I drink white. You know.
I'll probably drink like a nice cold beer.
Yeah. What kind of beer do you like? What's your favorite?
Anything really, but in the UK we have something called Carlin. I don't know if you've heard of Carlin. Carlin.
No, I don't. No.
Heineken's okay. Yeah, I think you have Heineken in America. Even Budweiser's okay.
Have you been to? So Kelly Fisher, I guess, owns a bar. Is that? I don't know how far she lives from. I don't.
Yeah, she's about 200 miles from me.
Okay. Have you been to her bar?
No, I haven't been there, but I plan to go there once everything's over and we can travel again. And
When I come out, we'll go together.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I'm really good friends with her because she is originally from the same town as me.
Oh, really? Funny.
Yeah, so and we're really good friends, and she's only like 200 miles from me. So we've spoke about her coming to me to practice, me going to her to practice. So that's something I will definitely do in the future.
Cool. Did you ever think about opening a bar or a pool room, or is that not?
Yeah, I was pretty close to getting a pool room last year.
Really?
But the same thing, really. It was like I'm thinking, is it a bit too early for me? Because I know once I sort of do something like that, my professional playing career is probably over.
You're right.
And I still think I've still got a bit to offer. I still think I can do something on the table.
Yeah, definitely.
And I like traveling. You know what I mean? I'm still not 100% sure whether I want to stay in America. I mean, the UK, or whether I want to go back to America.
Right.
So I'm like 50-50 at the moment.
Right.
But my plan was to spend a lot more time in America, maybe 6-7 months a year in America. So like 50-50.
Yeah, you could do both. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
So what made you choose
I'm a single guy, so I can. It's very easy to travel.
Sure. And what made you choose Allentown? Because when you were there, what made you live there in Allentown?
Well, that is where I met my wife at the time.
Oh, I couldn't remember what it was. Okay.
Yeah, so obviously she was from Allentown. I played a few tournaments in Pennsylvania around 2009, and that's where I sort of bumped into her. And then obviously 2010, that's when we got together. So it just made sense because she lived in Allentown. Obviously I'm from UK at the time, so I thought, well, I'll just go to wherever she is, and that's what I did. Cool. So that's the only reason that I was in Allentown.
I was just curious. Yeah.
There is no way that I would have stayed in. I mean, lived in Allentown if I wasn't married.
Right.
I mean, like it isn't a place I would advise to live there, but it's not the worst place in the world.
Yeah, that's not bad.
But obviously, I'd never heard of Allentown until I went to America.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't get an East Coast accent. You didn't develop one.
That never quite.
Which is good.
That never happened. No, it was. The only thing I did learn to do is that when I'm in America, I learned how to speak a lot slower. Because when I went over there and I was speaking very quickly, they didn't understand a word I was saying.
Right. Yeah, it's wild how differently. I'm all over, so I have a mix between the East Coast and a West Coast accents. People are always like, "Where are you from?"
Yeah, I've been back in the UK more or less like 2 years, but I still obviously go to America when I can. But I think I'm starting to get back my Yorkshire accent, which is where I live here in the UK.
Okay, yeah.
So I have to remind myself when I'm speaking to someone like you, I've got to speak a little bit more slower, let's say.
Okay, yeah, right.
Because you probably having an hard time to understand me right now.
I love that. I think that's an awesome accent. I love it. I like when I was talking to Kelly and you, and I just love it. It's such a classy accent.
Yeah. Cool. Apparently, yeah. I mean, obviously, to the British people, we don't really think that, but obviously, the Americans seem to like it.
yeah, it's neat. So
You were from originally?
originally Washington State
Oh, okay.
on the West Coast, and then I went to high school in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and then college I went to CU Boulder in Colorado.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved to California, lived there.
So you've got like your accents are very mixed. It's
It
very
is.
mixed.
It really is.
It's hard to tell where you're from.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like very well traveled.
Yeah. Well, and then when I hang out more with certain people from different areas, like from the East Coast especially, or if I get mad, the East Coast really comes out when I start.
Can't get mad.
So what's your let's see. Okay, what skill or talent other than pool do most people not know that you have?
Probably fighting.
Fighting?
Yeah, I used to be a boxer. I
didn't know that. Oh, cool.
I used to be a boxer. So even though I'm quite small, I would say, like, people probably wouldn't look at me and think I used to be a boxer. So I guess that would be like probably my main thing, I would say.
Oh, that's neat.
So,
it's a good thing to know.
I mean, obviously, when it comes to stuff like that, I mean, because people think, oh, he's a big guy, but it doesn't really mean anything if you don't know what you're doing, you know?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. That's cool. I tried to do boxing for a little while, and I really liked it, and I would have stuck with it if I knew you couldn't, get hurt or break your nose or whatever.
It actually helps your pool game, I think, because it helps you mentally.
The rhythm and the timing and everything.
Yeah, so between the ages of 13 to 18, I was a boxer. My family was into boxing. My father was a coach. My brother turned professional. My cousins were professionals. So I come from a boxing family.
Cool.
So I had to learn how to look after myself very quickly.
Right. So what is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is probably snakes.
Snakes? Oh, really?
Yeah, snakes. Yeah, snakes and heights.
And what?
Heights, like flying, for example. I don't like flying.
Oh, heights. Yeah. Right. I was always really afraid of heights too until I made myself do a tandem skydiving.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
I couldn't do that.
I was like the last person that would ever do that, but I drank a little bit of Jagermeister and did it.
Yeah.
It did help though.
I would have to be forced to do that. I'd have to, something crazy would have to,
Right.
That's crazy to me, that is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'll do it.
I mean, after you've done it, I can imagine the buzz was amazing. After you finished,
it was like 1 or 2 full days. Like it was an adrenaline high. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I won't do it again though.
So, I'm like, I'll probably do something once and then I'll never do it again if I was scared of doing something.
Right. So let's see. What don't you want your opponent to know about you?
What do I not want? How much I'm cursing him.
Okay, that's good.
Especially when they get lucky.
So tell me about your craziest billiard story.
My craziest billiard story. Oh, I actually, Chris Mellin told this one at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know, that Chris Mellin was speaking.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy story, really. I mean, a lot of the pool players know it, but it's probably like the craziest and probably the funniest thing, really, is that we was basically in Doha, Qatar, the World 9-Ball Championships. This was probably 10 years ago now, and we had like an apartment, but we had separate rooms, just like a door to go to his room and a door to go to my room. But we both had his own bathroom. We had his own TV, his own bed. So he had no business to be in my room, right?
Right.
So basically, I just got beat. And Chris Mellin is sort of known he's like, you know what farting is, right? You know what farting is.
Yeah.
And he's like a legend at letting them go. Let's
No
say.
way. You guys have the funniest videos, by the way.
It's crazy, and he thinks it's funny. You know what I mean? So anyway, I had just got beat in the tournament, but Chris is still in the tournament, but he was out eating. So I've come back to my room, and I've gone into the restroom, the toilet, and it absolutely stinks. It just stinks. So like, basically, Chris has done a dump in my toilet, right? He's dumped in my toilet and just left it there. He's just left it there. So like the whole room just stinks, and obviously I've just got beat in the World Championship, so I'm like fuming. I'm absolutely fuming, and I'm trying to book my flight to go back home. Obviously I've got beat. I just want to get home. You know what I mean? So I've like changed my flight. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do with? So I'm like raging. So I'm thinking, what can I do to get him back? So I'm like thinking about it. So then I thought, right. So I went in his room, and I see his shoes on the floor. He had his playing shoes on the floor. So I got one of his shoes, and then I sort of got like a spoon. I got a spoon, and I've collected some of his poop.
I don't remember the story.
And I put it to the bottom of his shoe. And then what I did then is that I put like a little bit of toothpaste in there. Yeah, so I put it to the bottom of his shoe, like inside the shoe. Inside the shoe. And I've mashed it all in there, and I've put some toothpaste in there also. So then I put his shoes back, and then I'm on my way to the airport at this time. This is like an hour later. I'm on my way to the airport because I'm going home, and I'm thinking, all right, I might have taken it a little bit too far. Because Chris has to still play, you see. He has to go and play his match. So like about 2 hours later, I'm just about to get on the plane, and then Chris has like obviously gone to put his shoes on, and he's thinking, oh, that is a bit weird. Like he's like, oh, so he's like took his shoes off, and he's thinking, what's going on here? But obviously it's dark inside, so he can't see. But then he's like got like this like funny smell. So then he's like checked to see what it is, and then he knew that Then he knew what I'd done. So then he's like text me as I'm just about to get on the plane, and he's absolutely raging. He's like going crazy. So I'm like just laughing. I'm like crying with laughter, and I'm just about to get on the plane, but I'm like crying with laughter. You know when your stomach hurts, and people are like looking at me stupid, but I just couldn't stop laughing. So like Chris,
toothpaste to make it smell better.
Yeah, just like to try not to
mix it up.
So anyway, he's trying to clean his shoes out so that he can go and play his match. So he's even wore the shoes to go and play his match. So that was like the crazy story, really.
That's funny. So you guys have been friends for a long time, yeah?
Well, we was. Yeah,
until that day.
We've been friends maybe like 20, about 25 years, I could say.
Oh, wow.
A bit longer, 26, 27 years.
Okay. That's funny.
So we've done some crazy things to each other. That's just the British mentality. We like playing pranks on each other.
That's funny.
We probably don't do it as much now because we got a bit like a little bit older and a little bit more mature, let's say.
Yeah, it's still fun.
But when we was in our 20s and early 30s, we were like crazy. Really.
Right. So if you were stranded on an island, who would you choose and why?
Can I choose you? Probably. Why? Well, obviously, stranded. It's got to be a woman, I guess. If you're on an island, so who do I like? I guess I have to pick a celebrity, right? So I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. maybe someone like maybe like a Rihanna or something like that.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
because obviously I think she's like got a good personality. She seems like pretty. She's sort of out there. Don't take herself too serious, and I think she likes a drink and all that stuff. So I think she'd be a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Well, if you just pick someone like who's a bit boring, let's say, then I think it's not a good place to be. So I think you got to be on there with like a character.
Right. Your answers are good. Have you ever played pool drunk?
Yeah.
Of course, right.
Well, only once in a tournament, though. Only once in like let's say a pretty big tournament. Not a big tournament, but
right. Is that because you were like from celebrating the night before, or?
No, it was a bar table tournament in Reno. And I just thought, well, I can sort of get away with drinking and playing on a bar table.
Oh, right.
And I actually got to the final, actually. So
really? Well,
I wouldn't really advise it.
Right. Right.
But obviously, doing like practicing with friends or been at the pool room. Obviously, that's happened quite a bit.
Right. Let's see. Who? If there was all pool people were on an island, who would you vote off the island?
Who would I vote off the island?
Yeah.
Well, Chris Mellon would be the first off. Because I just can't trust him.
You guys crack me.
Yeah, probably. I don't think there'll be too many people left on the island, to be honest. I probably keep on like maybe like 3 or 4 girls who I really like obviously someone like Kelly, maybe like an Alison Fisher, yourself, maybe like an Emily Duddy, just like for the mixture and the fun. And then I'd have someone like maybe Jason Shaw would be on there, myself obviously, and then maybe Il Strickland just for like the crazy stories, and maybe even like someone crazy like Johnny Archer.
Cool. So let's see, who is the best male and female pool player in your opinion? Oh,
who's the best, or who's my best friends?
Best. Like, who do you think is the best? The best.
Well, I think Ephraim Razor is the greatest player of all time in the men, and the ladies is a tough one. I'd have to say Alison Fisher for her longevity.
Okay.
But if I was to pick one now, then I'd probably say Simen Cheng or Kelly Fisher.
Okay. Yeah.
On the ladies' side, but I think overall, you're looking at the last 20 years, and you got to say Alison Fisher.
Right.
And it's the same with the men. Obviously, Ephraim Razor is the greatest player ever, but I mean, I think the best player right now is Joshua Filler. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But obviously, he's still a baby, so he has a lot to prove still.
Right. Who do you think is the most obnoxious player?
Probably Il Strickland.
Yeah. How about let's see. What's the rudest thing that anybody has ever said to you during a match? Or best comeback that you've had?
Yeah. Basically, I'm a piece of shit.
Somebody said that to you?
Yeah, Earl told me that. Earl, whenever I've played Earl, it's like, but he does it to everybody, you know what I mean?
Right, sure.
It's sort of got worse as he's got older, but I don't take it personally because I know it's just him. Because when he's not playing pool, he's actually really nice to me. Yeah. And he's actually a nice guy when he's not playing pool. But obviously, in like recent years, he's obviously got some issues going on there.
Right.
Okay. I think that the players don't take it personally because it's Il Strickland. But if someone else said that to me, then I'd probably retaliate.
Yeah, right.
So that's that really.
Let's see.
And then someone actually accused me of cheating one time. That didn't go down well.
Oh.
But that was about 25 years ago. Someone accused me of cheating, and I said to, and I know that I didn't, right? He was basically saying that I fouled, right? Yeah. And I'm trying to explain to him how it wasn't possible to foul for this certain situation, right? And then he just kept saying that I'm a cheat. I says, look, if you call me a cheat again, I'm going to put you on your ass.
Yeah.
And he kept saying, And I was like, maybe, and this is where I go back to the boxing, right?
Right.
So I was like maybe 18 or 19 at the time, and he just kept saying it, and he was like really winding me up. And he was quite a big guy. And I told him, I said, look, if you say it again, I'm going to put you on your ass. And he said it again, so I punched him. So that's the only time I've like been involved in an actual fight during a game.
Right.
But obviously, obviously at that time it wasn't a clever thing to do.
So how about what's a pool shot that maybe you could demonstrate that a lot of people don't know? It could be any shot. And is there one you could think of that would be like a cool shot that, or most people don't know it? Like a big stroke shot, or like do you play one pocket at all?
Yeah, I play one pocket. Yeah, probably like a one pocket shot, really.
A one pocket shot.
It's mainly like where you basically got the ball near the pocket, like from let's say the object ball's in like the very close to the top right pocket, and the white ball's in the bottom left hand pocket.
Right.
And maybe like long as it's you have like space to be able to cue the ball. Right. You can actually bank the ball to where the white ball is. Where I never even thought that shot was even possible. Right. But there's a guy in Allentown called Buzzy. They call him Buzzy. Okay. And he's just amazing. He's just amazing, like at these shot makes. He's like a shot maker, and he's amazing at like twisting his. You have to like twist your wrist to be able to play this shot.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, like generate like really a crazy amount of spin. Wow. So I started practicing this shot, and I thought, wow, it's actually a good shot to know at one pocket. Right. It only might come up maybe once in your lifetime if you're playing a match where you have the confidence to try it. Yeah. But it's actually a two-way shot. So if I see you, I'll have to show you it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But it's actually like it's basically like a free shot, really.
One pocket is so neat. I had no idea I would like it so much until somebody kind of showed me more, and I'm like, wow. Yeah,
and this particular shot, what he was showing me, I've never seen it before, and I've never seen it since. So, so I guess that'd be it, really. Because obviously, if you got Efren Reyes on the table or someone like that, then there's nothing what Efren Reyes doesn't know.
You have to do it. Yeah. You have to go for it, or that's cool. Yeah. Let's see. If you had to do your billiards career over, what would you do differently?
I would have started playing American pool earlier. Because I was a professional English 8-ball. I started off playing English 8-ball when I was 16. I turned professional at 19. And then I switched over to American pool when I was 30 years old. Okay. Like even 30, maybe like 31. So I've been playing American pool about 12 years full time. Okay. About 12, 13 years. But I wish I would have maybe made the switch around maybe 24, 25 years old.
Is that your favorite? I mean, do you like American pool the best? Or I mean, out of all? Oh, yeah.
What? It's by far the best game. It's by far the best game. Okay. And obviously, because we English 8-ball, it's like a very UK-based game. And it's like the main game in the UK is snooker. And snooker's like a pretty big sport. Yeah. Where we English 8-ball, it's like a pub game, stroke. I mean, it's okay. There is like a circuit. There's a professional circuit, but the money's not very good, and it never gets the recognition or TV time. It's just not going to get global. You know what I mean? Where we American pool, it's very global. You get the recognition. There's like television. Obviously, if you're one of the top players, you can make a pretty good living from it. So I just wish I would have done it like in my mid-20s, and then obviously I would have had an even better career playing American pool, I think. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I don't really regret. I've been quite fortunate to win all the world championships, so I don't have any regrets regards titles. It's more like I just wish I would have maybe played in like maybe 5 or 6 more Mosconi Cups, for example. Right. Okay. Cool.
And oh, so tell me about your sponsors. And is there anybody you want to give a shout out to, or like?
Yeah, my main sponsors. I've been with Predator Q since day one. So like 2007, really. So like 13 years. I mean, it's just gone very quickly. So Predator's been great to me. We've had a great relationship, and I've stuck to them when I've had offers from other Q companies. But I just really it's like a family. If you get really into a Q, like a really good Q sponsor, and you build a relationship, then you like feel like you're part of the family. So it's tough to leave, even when you get better offers elsewhere. You know what I mean? So, and obviously, if you're happy with the Q, then don't change just for the money, because even though you might make more money from that actually a different Q sponsor, it might affect you on the table, because that Q might not play as good as what you had before. So people need to be careful when they say, "Oh, I'm just going there for the money." So I'm a big believer in the product. I'm more into the product more than the money. So Predator's been great to me, and I think I've done good for them. So, and then after that, I've got Razon Billiards, Razon Pool Tables. I've been with them. This will be my 3rd year. And again, like, great people. They've improved their table over the last 2 or 3 years. I think their table's as good as any table now. Where if someone asked me about a Razon table about 3 or 4 years ago, I would have told them it's garbage. But they've made massive improvements to their tables, because they want people like me, who's sponsored by them, and Jason Shaw, who's sponsored by them, to give them feedback about the table. So they're always looking to improve it. So I really like people like that, who are open to criticism, and then obviously go and make it work. And that's what Razon Tables have done. So, and then also I'm with a company called Q World in Australia. It's like an online shop. They sell everything. You know what I mean? They sell all like your pool accessories. So the guy's called Stuart Rogers. He has a Facebook page and the website qworld.au. So I've just signed with them about 6 months ago, and also I've just signed with Tiger Products, Tiger Tips.
Okay, yeah.
Which obviously you'll know Tony from Tiger Products, great guy, one of my favourite people in the industry.
He is really
but it was quite tricky to do anything with Tony, because obviously I was connected with Predator, so I can't obviously play with a Tiger Q. But we managed to figure it out where I could play with his tips.
Yeah.
And I'm a massive fan of his tips, because I originally started playing with a Tiger tip when I first started playing. But then you start getting all these sponsors, and you like trying all these different tips. But I always thought about I want to play with a Tiger tip. So I was thinking about it about 6 months ago, and then I decided to say, well, maybe I can be sponsored by Tiger with their tips. So I contacted Tony, and then blah blah blah, and then we worked out a deal. So I'm very happy, because I'm playing with a sniper, and in my opinion, I think that's the best tip on the market.
Yeah, I've heard good things about them. I haven't tried that one yet.
It just grabs the cue ball very quickly when you hit the object ball. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you.
They're my sponsors.
It's great to talk with you. This was really fun interview. And thank you everyone for tuning into Sneaky Pete Mafia TV. My name is Jackie Karol, making billiards great again. See you guys next time.